All right, now Intercape is once again raising alarm over the increasing threat of extortion-related violence targeting its bus operations, particularly on routes between Eastern and Western Cape. Now, the company reports nearly 40 million rand in damages from attacks on its buses and says it has opened almost 200 criminal cases, yet no significant action has even been taken. Speaking to Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Police this week, Intercape expressed deep frustration over the government's lack of intervention. Let's discuss this a little bit further. Johann Ferreira, the CEO of Intercape, joins us now. Johann, we have detailed some parts of your situation as it stands. Won't you just share a little bit more detail, if you will, as to what in the world is going on, particularly in these routes between the Eastern Cape and Western Cape?
Very good morning, and also to the viewers. Look, this has been an ongoing issue, as you know, since 2016. It's escalated in 2019, and it's still continuing. We had a situation in the Eastern Cape very recent as last month, where at a certain town in the Eastern Cape, the owner of the service station was intimidated by the taxi associations and said they're going to burn the place down if we continue, if Intercape continues to stop at the service station. Now, this service station, this location, is part and parcel of our permit system. So, we can't just park anywhere. It's a highly regulated environment, and one has to, when you apply for a route, you have to indicate exactly which road you're going to take, which routes you're going to take, where you're going to stop to let passengers embark and disembark. So it is a very disruptive situation, even in places like Limpopo and Mpumalanga recently. We had taxi operators stopping certain departures, and we even had the police telling us to stop operating because they can't contain the situation. So it is a worry that this sort of thing still continues.
So the police are saying to you, stop operating along those routes?
Yeah, I think the police come to a point where they see the intimidation, they see the blockage of the bus, they see that we have to cancel the departure, but they do nothing. They don't arrest the perpetrators, and I think that is the core of the issue for us. We have, as you said rightly, over 200 cases reported, and at this point in time, as far as Intercape is concerned, the police and also various other departments and Department of Transport is in contempt of court, because the court clearly said that as far as the one case is concerned, where we went to court and said, please give us protection and put a plan in place for this to stop. The court clearly directed the police and traffic department, the Department of Transport, to work together, come up with an interim plan and also a long-term plan. And they have to report back to court and to Intercape about the progress. And on the other side, we said, okay, so the perpetrators needs to be arrested. And then the court said, police, you have to do your work, you have to investigate, you have to arrest and report back to court and to Intercape. Now, none of that has happened. And that is our case. That's where we said, we're not informed, we don't know what's going on. As far as we're concerned, nobody's been arrested.
Sure.
The police claim 11 arrests, but we can't verify it. We don't know about that.
So what is it that these assailants, or extortionists, as you put it, ultimately want? Because it seems it might look like a mafia-style protection that might be happening. Or is it that you have to pay in order to be on those routes, because those routes might be predominantly taxi-owned? What is it exactly that they want?
Well, it's all about money in the end of the day. So Intercape are being punished because we are not paying the bribes, we're not paying the protection money, we're not doing the racketeering, we don't collude, we don't agree on prices, and that's why we are being singled out and punished at this point in time. So that's on the one side. And the other side is just organized crime. In the end of the day, the taxis want to operate only and solely on these routes. It was told to my face, Intercape must stop its operations. And if you look at what happened in the Eastern Cape, where the MEC of Transport stopped Intercape operations for about 6-7 months. And in that period of time, the taxi operators, specifically the one taxi person that was the chairman of the meetings where bus operators were summoned to and told to their face, you have to charge this sort of prices, you can't put so many buses on the road, you can't operate these hours.
Yeah.
That particular person has started his own intercity operations from those towns that we had to stop operating from. So it's all about a cleansing of an industry. Get rid of the trains, get rid of the buses, let's put them in the taxis, and let us do the work, or let us buy the buses. That's basically it's a mafia-style operation.
So do you know then does this mean that this is only happening to your bus service, and or maybe it's indiscriminate and happening to everyone?
In 2019 to about 2022, it happened to all of them, and then obviously bus operators were forced to talk to the taxi operators because nobody knew what's going on.
Yeah.
And when I understood what the demands are and what they want, I went a different route. I went to the police. I reported the case. The other bus operators went and sat with the taxis around the table and negotiated. And I think that's where the difference is. As Intercape, we don't do that. We do business by the book. We are a lawful operator, and we've been in business for 45 years. Intercity services were started long before long-distance taxi operators operated.
Yeah.
So we have a right to do business. It's a free country. We've got free speech, we've got free religion, so we should do business as it's allowed by the law of the country.
So what does this mean, though, for your operations between the Eastern Cape and the Western Cape then? I mean, are they at risk of ultimately closing down if this is not sorted correctly, or will you continue to seek some sort of protection? Because private security is also costing you significantly.
Yeah, look, where there's extreme instances like 2 weeks ago in Palabora, we had to get in private security because the police are not doing their work adequately. We're not going to close down. We're not going to run away. I'm not going to be called a coward by the president. I'm here to stay, and I'm here to make a difference in the country. Law and order needs to be restored. People don't feel safe in South Africa, and the police must, they must understand that the public of South Africa is at risk. Murders are up, rape. It's unbelievable. South Africa's just become statistics. We're just a number. And just another day. And that is wrong. That has to stop. It's a human rights violation, what's going on in South Africa, as far as I'm concerned. And if you look at the court records, it's clear. The court said they have to do X, Y, and Z, and they just need to do their work. That's all they need. That's all I and every other South African expect from government, is to do their work.